Oh, that sinking feeling you get in your stomach when you see your Etsy shop is suspended? It is incredibly stressful, especially when it's just for an overdue bill. But hey, don't worry. Today, we're going to break down exactly why this happens and, more importantly, how you can get your shop back online in just a few minutes.
Okay, first things first, take a deep breath. This is not some catastrophic end-of-the-world scenario. Unlike some of the more complicated suspensions, this one has a really clear and direct solution. So, seriously, there is no need to panic.
In fact, this is probably the most straightforward suspension issue you can possibly run into on the platform. You just got to know the right buttons to click. Okay, let's get into it and get your shop back up and running.
So what exactly is an overdue bill in Etsy's world? Well, it's pretty simple. It's just when all those little fees you rack up as a seller, for listings, transaction fees, maybe some ads, haven't been paid by the deadline. So Etsy just puts your shop on a temporary pause. And the key word here is temporary.
All right, let's cut right to the chase and talk about the solution. We've got a super simple, step-by-step plan to get your shop back online. No guesswork, I promise.
Honestly, the absolute quickest fix is to just pop into your account and pay whatever amount Etsy says is due. For most people, as soon as that payment goes through, your shop is reinstated automatically. We're talking sometimes within minutes. It really is often that simple.
And here's exactly how you do it. First, you're going to open your shop manager. From there, you'll head over to the Finances section and click on your payment account. You should see the amount due pretty clearly, with a big Pay Now button right next to it. Just click that, confirm you're paying the current balance, choose how you want to pay, and then hit Submit. And that's it.
So, you might be wondering, how does this even happen in the first place? Well, understanding Etsy's billing timeline is the key to making sure it doesn't happen again. Let's break down when a bill officially crosses over into overdue territory. So the timeline actually depends on your settings. If you're not using auto billing, your statement is due on the 1st of the month, and you've got to pay it by the 16th or you risk suspension. Now, if you are using auto billing and a payment fails, maybe your card expired or something, Etsy is pretty cool about it. They give you a 5-day grace period to get it sorted out before they suspend your shop.
Now hang on. Before you rush off to pay that bill, there is one common little trap that trips some sellers up, especially if you live in a certain part of the world. Let's make sure this doesn't happen to you.
All right, this one is a shout out to all of our sellers in the European Economic Area. So that's the EU, Norway, Iceland, and Liechtenstein. Because of some specific banking regulations over there, you might be asked to complete an extra security step just to prove it's really you making the payment. And listen, you absolutely cannot skip this step. This authentication might look like a one-time code they text to your phone, or maybe an approval you have to tap inside your banking app. If you don't complete it, the payment will fail and your shop is going to stay suspended, even if you thought you paid.
Theory is one thing, but seeing how this works in a couple of real-world scenarios makes it so much clearer. So let's just walk through a couple of quick examples. First up, the perfect situation. A seller sees they have a 450 rupee bill that's overdue. They log in, pay it right away, the payment goes through without a hitch, and boom, their shop is back online almost instantly. This is how it works for most people, simple and fast.
But now, let's go back to our seller in Europe. They click Pay Now, but then the dog starts barking, they get distracted, and they completely miss that one-time password from their bank. Well, the payment never actually finalizes, leaving them totally confused about why their shop is still suspended. It just goes to show how critical that little authentication step really is.
And that brings us to what is maybe the most frustrating question of all. You are positive, you paid. You saw the money leave your account, but your shop is still suspended. What on earth is going on? Okay, here is the absolute key thing you need to understand. Paying your bill only fixes the suspension that was caused by that bill. If your shop is still offline after you've paid, it means there's another totally separate issue that Etsy needs you to deal with.
That overdue bill might have just been the thing that triggered Etsy to look closer at your account and find another problem. This could be anything really, an unresolved policy violation, a pending request for you to verify your identity or tax info, or maybe even an issue with another Etsy account that's linked to yours.
So, what's your next move? Go straight to your email. And I mean check everything, including your spam folder. Etsy will have sent you a message explaining the other reasons for the suspension. Their Resolving Account Suspensions help page is also a fantastic resource for more details.
Okay, let's do a super quick recap of the most important takeaways. A suspension for an overdue bill? Almost always an easy fix. The solution is just to pay the full amount due in your payment account, and that usually triggers an automatic reinstatement. If you're in the EEA, do not forget that authentication step, and if your shop is still suspended after you've paid, it's time to play detective and figure out what other issue might be going on.
And finally, as we wrap up, I just want to leave you with this one thought. Your bill is paid, your shop is back online, which is awesome, but this whole thing can be a great wake-up call. Is your shop's financial health truly set up for long-term success? That's a great question to think about as you move forward.